So today we're taking a look at 3 pieces of equipment that I use all of the time for my shoots and have become sort of like a must-have things in my opinion. I have talked about these previously but not that in-depth, so I thought why not make a video out of them so that you guys can know about these amazing products, and all 3 of them are also quite inexpensive, so that's a plus point. Now with that said, let's just dive right in. So the first product on the list is this Z tilt head. Now the idea behind it is quite simple. It's just a base that has 2 separated columns connected to it that can tilt up and down, and it's meant to be used with your camera to position around your camera, make like micro adjustments like tilting up and down, moving back and forth, especially for stuff like macro photography and all. So it's primarily meant to be used that way, but I have used this that way the least. What I use it for is just as a base. Since it's completely made out of CNC aluminum, it's really sturdy and hefty and has a nice weight to it. And I have used it to mount like all sorts of things. For example, if I'm shooting like a product video, I've used it to mount like products, other equipments like lights, microphones, or anything that needs to be mounted in a specific angle or specific way. Especially, for example, I use this a lot to mount like heavy stuff that might need some hefty support during like mounting and all. As I said, since it's mainly made out of aluminum, it's really sturdy and durable, and it can easily support a lot of weight. It also comes with an Allen key that you can use to tighten up these cross-section arms. That way you can regulate how much the tension you need to bend around the arms here and there. And that way you can also control how much weight it can support at that time. So pretty simple idea. I've used these things for a lot of different kind of situations. It's also quite inexpensive and really good to have in your bag if you're shooting like any sort of video, especially like product videos where you have to mount like things in a pretty intricate way here and there. Highly recommend for that. So the second thing on the list are probably my most favorite piece of equipment that I've used on all of my shoots as far as I can remember, and that is this friction arm. So what this is basically 2 rods that are connected in the middle using this big knob, and at each end there are 1/4-inch threads. So how does it work is you just unscrew this knob in the middle and it loosens up the entire arm. That way you can maneuver it in any direction or any angle you like. After you're done, you just have to tighten up the knob in the middle and it will stay in that position. Now, it might seem simple at first, but I can't tell you enough how useful this thing is, especially if you're into like product photography or product videography or those kind of things. I have used this thing in so many different ways I can't even remember. For example, I've used this to mount products, lights, other pieces of equipment, or any like sort of way that needs intricate mounting and angle or placement, something like that. It's just so handy for that. And most of the time when I'm using it, I attach a clamp on one end so that I can mount it virtually anywhere. And at the other end, since it's 1/4-inch thread, you can mount any sort of gear to it, like lights, microphone, or anything that you want to mount. I can't recommend this enough to anyone who's into photo or video, not specifically product photos or videos. Generally, if you're into photography or videography, I would highly recommend this to have it in your kit. I actually ordered a couple of more of these so that that way maybe you can understand how much I like these, and this is a great piece of equipment for any kind of scenario. Highly recommend it. Can't recommend it enough, as I said earlier, but if you're into photo video, get this, you won't regret it. Pretty inexpensive, just love this thing. So the last thing on the list is just a ball head. Now, you might think that why would you mention a ball head? It's just a pretty standard piece of equipment when it comes to photography and videography. That's true. Besides using it to mount your camera, I have used it to do a lot of things actually. So this ball head came with my tripod, and since I specifically don't use a ball head to mount my camera, I prefer fluid heads when it comes to like video stuff. I have used this thing for other purposes. For example, again, mounting stuff at different position and angle and those kind of things. Since you can mount this on any tripod and it has a 1/4-inch thread on the other side, you can literally mount anything onto it. And the thing that I love most about this ball head is before I had an electronic turntable, I used this to do all sorts of pan motion in my videos. Since this ball head has a panning feature built into it, and I would highly recommend if you're going to get a ball head, make sure that it has a panning feature separately from the ball joint. That way you can use it for all kinds of things. I remember using this to do all sorts of panning for like the beverage commercials, or if you like watch up any of my older videos and you see any sort of pan motion going around the product, this was the thing that was panning it. And I got so good at panning things with this is that I sometimes still use it over the electronic turntable if I want to have like an intricate and a precise motion that I want to follow for the band. But at the end of the day, it's just a ball head. There's not much to talk about. I still highly recommend it. So that's it for today's video, I guess. If you have any questions, just drop them in the comments below and let me know if you like these kinds of videos. I'm thinking of doing more of these, and I have another product commercial video coming up really soon, so stick around for that. And yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you all in the next one.